Welcome back, everyone, to Final Fantasy XIV. It's been a while since I've played this. I took a break to do the Elder Scrolls Online's Thieves Guild DLC, and now that I finished that, I'm ready to come back here and start on Shadowbringers in earnest. So I'm very curious to see how this expansion goes, because it's considered supposedly like the best of the expansions so far. It's currently the end of May, basically, and Endwalker comes out in the end of November, we now know. It's like gonna be like July when this video goes up, but whatever. I play a lot of things. And it's about time for us to work our way up here. We should have everything we need item-wise to be right at the top for this expansion, so we shouldn't need any equipment right away, but we'll see how things go. Good news, Arn. We had a stroke of luck in our search for that beacon. Apparently our colleagues have stumbled upon a hidden path leading down into the hollows around the base of the Crystal Tower. Path I doubt we'd ever have found had the Ironworks and the Suns added their numbers to the party. Thanks to them, we have eager eyes aplenty down there, checking under rocks and peeling into every nook and cranny. Still, it sounds like there's a lot of ground to cover. We better go and give them a hand. This is a very interesting new outfit we have. My thoughts exactly. The sooner we find this beacon, the sooner we can travel to wherever it is that this mysterious voice is coming from. The sooner we can work out how to help our friends. We have to find a way to wake them up, and before the Empire comes calling in, meaning we have no time to lose. There's a boat in North Silvertier waiting to ferry people to the site, so let's be on our way. Ooh, a new quest accepted jingle. I had forgotten all about the fact that those change. Where is North Silvertier anyways? Okay, yeah, it's over here in Mordorna still. My throat's a little itchy. This isn't the best time for me to be starting this, but I wanted to get started on it. It is nice the fact that you can fly around here in Mordorna now. Oh, that's right, actually. Let me, we have this thing to use. I had bought the Shadowbringers Collector's Edition, the digital one, a long time ago. This is the mount that came with it, and I especially didn't use it specifically for the fact that I wanted to use it for this expansion. But usually they do give us a new mount about halfway through, I think, so... Head to a survey site, madame. It's on the eastern shore of the lake, and the swiftest way to get there is by boat. Ori Boulder, how you doing? Well, my throat is, like, not wanting me to do this right now, but I'm still gonna do it. I have the determination to do it. I do like this music, though. It's very nice.
Look how many people there are! Should we get to it then? Pick up anything that seems the least bit device-like, and we'll make ourselves a pile.
Well, if it isn't the hero of the hour, maybe you'll change our look. We found bugger all without you.
Biggs! Wedge!
Aye, aye. Well, we could hardly say no to a call for aid from the Scions. Jesse called it the chief of some other business, so we'll be working twice as hard to make up for his not being here.
Thrice as hard, even.
Thank you, both of you. I'm sure we'll find that beacon in no time.
I'm not seeing anything out here. Do you reckon you could squeeze in there, Wedge?
And get stuck halfway? No, thank you.
I could try if you like.
Tataru, no! We couldn't ask you to do that.
Oh, I'll be fine. This receptionist is not afraid to get her hands dirty.
Sorry, I meant to say, the scholars haven't finished their preliminary assessment of the site yet, so we're not supposed to venture too far in. What's that you got there? Now that looks promising.
Isn't that the Ironworks symbol? Counterfeiters?
Now I have you.
You are right.
What's happening?
Stay with me. Focus on my voice. Let expanse contract. Eon become instant.
Wait, this must be it. The device. Oh, this is supposed to happen.
Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
Safe journey, warrior of light. Find our friends and bring them home.
Well, that didn't take us long to be taken to another world. Yeah, we're definitely wearing some sort of mask of a sort. It's actually a pretty good outfit for a, darkness overtaking that we're, doing.
The dawn's light will shine again.
Oh, do not look at me so.
You're slaves to a tyrant. There's no freedom in that.
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you.
I must say your spirited accounts of things comes welcome.
We did everything right. Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this.
Your time has not yet come.
Is that Albert? At least I think that was his name, wasn't it? We've ended up somewhere purple.
From endless dreams I awake. Something vague, yet urgent, calls me to action once more.
Rare to meet someone out here who's not a peddler themselves. What brings you into the wilds this time of night? Well, if it ain't the oldest joke in the book. Me granddad, God's rest his soul, used to tell that one to the barman at kicking out time. And when, pray tell, did we last have a dark night? You rotten old drunk, you, he'd reply. Over 100 bleeding years ago, that's when. You got that look down to a T. I'd almost think you meant it. Ah, got to you, did they? Poor beggar. That explains it then. Well, I've roads to travel and wares to sell, but you best hurry along to the town nearby. Just head east through the trees and aim for the Shining Tower. You'll find the place soon enough. 'Tis the biggest settlement for malms around. Go on now, friend. They'll take good care of you in the Crystarium.
Dizzying heights it rises, the gleaming spire. Its tip threatening to pierce the blinding canopy. There, it will all begin anew. Between dark and light, the pure and the corrupt. The one true struggle.
Alright, we can move again. This place looks very shiny and very purpley. I like it. Yeah, that's interesting, because that's the same merchant we met at the very beginning of this game, and I think, one other time. I think it was back towards, like, the beginning of Heaven's Ward, wasn't it? I think. Yeah, it looks like they bordered us off here, actually. I'd imagine this place is probably usually, covered with enemies. A giant tower, the Crystal Tower, in fact, I believe it is. The fact that we entered here from the Crystal Tower and then got here, like, right next to it is probably very interesting. Looks like we made it to the entrance, at least.
Halt! Every face in this city I know. Yours, I do not. This is the threshold of the Crystarium, stranger, and I am its gatekeeper. If you would enter, you will answer my questions. From where do you hail?
Well, we're usually hanging around you, doll.
Take me for a fool? No such place exists. Had you given me an honest answer, I would not have barred your way. We care little here for a person's place of origin. But instead, you chose concealment. And I will not suffer you to pass. That one had eaten. It must have gulped down the whole hand, ring and all.
Everything all right, Captain?
Quite all right, my lord. Just a stray sin eater, and a weak one at that.
I see. Weak or not, we should be on the lookout for more. But I see you've met my guest. I will escort her to the Crystarium myself, if you've no objections.
Another of your mysterious friends, is it? I should have known. Very well. I'll inform the others your guest is to be given the run of the city. Pray forgive my less than cordial welcome. May the rest of your stay with us be a pleasant one.
Come with me. I will answer whatever questions you have when we are somewhere more private. Right then, before we plunge into the wheres and wherefores, let me first thank you for answering my summons. I had intended to bring you directly to my personal quarters, but I fear my aim was slightly off. That you are still able to make the crossing unharmed is a great relief. And so, we come to the question of where. The realm in which you now find yourself belongs to one of the 13 reflections, or shards. The first, to be precise, even if its inhabitants are largely oblivious to the fact. As to wherefore, having been awarded the rather grandiose title of Crystal Exarch, I, in my capacity as caretaker of the Crystarium, thought to seek the aid of you and your companions.
Are the other scions here?
That is a question with no simple answer. But all shall be explained in due course, I promise you. Let us begin with the glaring skies up above. Here in the first, the world has been all but consumed by primordial light. It began a century ago, by this realm's reckoning. A luminous flood swallowing everything in its path. More than 9/10 of this star was lost. And the fortunate few who survived are hounded by abominations born of that catastrophe even now. Sin Eaters, we call them. The creature you saw earlier was one such monstrosity. It was to save the first from this menace that I learned to bridge the rift between worlds. That I might call upon the aid of the greatest of heroes. Though it meant depriving a world of its champion, I had to try. For in saving the first, you would bring salvation to the source as well. But what manner of host harangues his guests in the middle of the road? Let us continue our talk within the Crystarium.
I guess our merchant friend got eaten by a Sin Eater. That's kind of sad.
City. The sole sanctuary for the living in a world all but resigned to oblivion. Each stone was laid with hope. The town itself a symbol, a monument to defiance in the face of death. No would-be hero could fail to answer its call. For who among us does not yearn for salvation?
Norvent. Oh, there you are. And here we are. Welcome, my friend, to the Crystarium. Alright. Level 73. And we got a, Shadowbringers roll, so let's go ahead and take that. Now, full of frank and discussion in the privacy of my study would seem to be in order. I think our conversation would be more meaningful when you first gain a firmer grasp of the situation here. To that end, I would like you to visit a few of the Crystarium's civil leaders, and glean something of this world and its predicament. As you can see, this path will take you directly to the Aetheryte, a convenience of which I'm sure you'll only be familiar. Being the rightful object of my summoning spell, you should in theory be able to reach all the way back along your Aetheric trail and find a connection to the source, believe it or not. I strongly suggest you complete this attunement before venturing any further. After you've done so, walk up the steps next to the Aetheryte and head out to the left to revive in the crystalline mean. This is where you'll find a collection of our crafters and gatherers, as well as our spokeswoman, Catliss, one of the people I should like you to meet. Now there's more, and to reach him as Cabinet Curiosity, you'll want to avoid the mentioned steps, take the exit on the left, and simply continue straight along down until you come to large doors at the end of the path. Third and final person I'd like you to meet is Braggy, our man in charge of trade and distribution. He is found to be in the markets, which you can access from the opposite side of the Aetheryte Plaza. In seeking out each of my colleagues, you'll first visit the major districts of the city, and hopefully gain a feel of the place. I trust my directions are simple enough. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Very good. I can see the layout of the Crystarium owes more to historic necessity than planning. I'm sure you'll learn its twists and turns before long. In all honesty, the true challenge may be to finding the right way to approach its citizens. As you discovered during your encounter with the captain, the people of this world are unaware of your existence of other stars, or struggle to accept the truth of your origin. That being the case, may I ask, since you hail as they inevitably will, I suggest you claim to share your homeland with the Crystal Azarch. There's an unspoken rule here about peering too deeply into that particular mystery. When you finish making the rounds, pray meet in the large courtyard at the center of town. Until then. Tuning. Focusing your senses, you detect the flow of vastly different currents of ether. Your connection to these energies is faint but stable, and should allow teleportation of the Aetherites in the source. Actually, maybe we should just go for that one that's way off in the distance there on its own. Quite a few people around here. You're to the city, friend. The spinning hand of white eyes give you away. Welcome, my name is Braggy. I'm master of these markets. They gave the district another official title, but I'm not in the habit of using it. Too florid by half. In any case, our merchants stock a range of equipment for drawn such as yourself, so finding something in your size shouldn't be a problem. Drawn? Ah, there's something wrong. Let's see if we can straighten this out. See those two in front of us? The shorter one is a Hume. The taller one is an elf. Straight individual over there is a Galgiant. Whilst the one with the horns is a Drawn, like you. Then you had large, scaly chaps with long tails and a knack for raising livestock. This would be Zun. Which apparently not the name you know them by. Now I'm curious to which far-flung region you hail from. Yeah, the same as the Arzak, eh? Well, that explains it. You don't get much further flung than that. We've had a few of your lot pass through in recent years, and despite their obvious learning, they floundered above the simplest things. Not to worry, should you find yourself confused by local language or customs, I'm really here to answer your questions. Didn't point them out early, but I'm sure you'll spot a Mistral and a lot of Ronzo like me sooner than later. Even Vista like Captain Lena aren't that unusual in this city. And the Crystarium's long been a sanctuary for all manner of refugees, except for maybe the dwarves. Those all prefer to keep themselves. Themselves to themselves, in my experience. One above, one below. Let's go ahead and take the one below, I think. Oh, all manner of plants down here. Nice. They did say this is where the crafters were. I see Aetheryte shards. Assuming we keep heading up. Yep, okay. Excuse me, miss, are you the recently come to the city, perchance? I'm quite familiar with our civic roles, you see, and well, What I mean to ask is, have you brought any books with you? A rumpled scroll, even. A scrap of scribbled-on parchment. My apologies, literature is something of an obsession of mine, as well as a profession. Librarian Morin at your service, and this humble collection is known as the Cabinet of Curiosity. As your powers of perception have likely informed you, my colleagues and I are responsible for curating all manner of tomes, documents, and other vehicles for the written word. As horrific as the loss of life and land wrought by the flood unquestionably was, the damage to recorded knowledge was no less catastrophic. We few do all what we can to preserve what wisdom survived. But tell me, what brings you to the cabinet today? Looking for any town in particular? Mayhap a spot of academic research? Oh, so you're interested in modern history. Splendid. A thorough review of recent events can often yield novel perspectives, I quite agree. If you prefer something visual to accompany your account, then I think I could have an illustrated history book for children somewhere. Just a moment, I'll fetch it for you. Here we are. Would you like to pull up a chair? Make yourself more comfortable. Ahem, with a lesson then. "100 years ago, or near enough not to matter, villains known as the Warriors of Light slew the Shadowkeeper, the Steward of Darkness. In the wake of this tainted deed, light began to pour into the world as if from unseen cracks. It pulled and swelled without cease, until the day an enormous blinding wave rose up and slipped across our star. We called this calamity the Flood of Light. Everything it touched was leached of life and vigor, leaving naught behind but a luminous wasteland. Yet when just all would be lost, a savior appeared before us. The Oracle of Light, she stood twixt an approaching doom, and by her power did she stay the flood. This was Norvant, and Norvant alone spared the fate of Eraser. Treasure would, however, arrive in a different form. From the blessed emptiness to sending horrors of strange and terrible aspect to bedevil the few folk who survived. Those Sin-Eaters were light incarnate, and their fligellant presence stole the night from Novrant's sky. Even now they circle the remaining bastions of civilization, ever on the hunt for us, ever hungering for our flesh. Thus did the world become what it is. Should you ever wish to hear the tale again, I'd be glad to tell it for you. If you'd rather speak of other matters, that too would be my pleasure. I'd be so glad of your company. Alright, well we got a little bit of a history there. Just one more place to go. Pretty sure it was up here, right? Yeah, it looks to be right. Oh, I thought there was a shard over here. No? Alrighty. Perhaps over here, then. Yep, there is one. Okay. Everlasting light. We see the place so well stocked with goods, isn't it? But not here. I guess you're new to our fair city. Well, for what it's worth, you've chosen a fine sanctuary. The Exarch can throw up a barrier if the Sin-Eaters come knocking, so it's a damn sight safer in here than it is out there. Safer and more civilized, too, thanks to us in the mean. We work together to procure materials and resources and craft the goods which make city life possible. This is the place to visit if you need a coat mended or a kettle forged. Just don't go thinking it'll be all handed to you on a plate like those Amorian layabouts. Here in the Crystarium, we work for a living. I see you're no stranger to honest labor. You don't have a whiff of indolence about you like some of the folk I've met. So I can't quite pin down your profession. Where is it you're from? One of the Exarch's countrymen, you say? I see. Well then, I'll work twice as hard to make you feel welcome. Our city wouldn't even exist if it weren't for him, and any friend of his is a friend of ours. It really is quite incredible when you think about it. They say his grand magic summoned the Crystal Tower into existence, pulled the entire thing out of the thin air. It wasn't long before droves of refugees began congregating around its base, desperate for shelter after losing their homes to the flood. That's how the Crystarium began. As the Exarch's invitation, buildings started going up, and with the help of our curious relics brought forth from the tower, the place gradually expanded to the thriving metropolis you see today. City stood here for decades now, yet the eldest among us swear the Exarch looks exactly the same as he did back then. He's indeed a man of many mysteries, but for all his secrecy, he has never let us down. So if he and you wish to remain silent about your shared homeland, then the folk here will respect your wish for privacy. I am, however, more than a little curious to see any crafting talent you might be hiding. And if aught to contribute on that front, be sure to come back and visit once you've had a chance to settle in. Just ask for Ketless, and I'll find you a niche here in the Crystalline Mean. You can help us keep the cogs of the city greased and turning. Alright, we've talked to all three now. I can't hop off of here? Okay. I can't hop off from anywhere over here, okay. I should probably go back to the other spot and grab the aetheryte shard that's no doubt there. No doubt there's one in here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there should be one in here. Okay, yeah, it's over here. Alright, we got that done at least. So we got a mender here. Let's go and talk to you real quick. See if we can't... oh, okay, I guess we have everything repaired. Might be another shard in front of this place, too. Yeah, there is. Slowly collecting them. Well, how'd you fare? Did my colleagues help you form a clear picture of this world and its people? As it seems you're treated to the most thorough introduction. I understand that this was something of a chore, but 'twas necessary that you grasp these things before we proceed. As for the Crystal Tower's origin, you may have noted that details are sparse. The structure is, in fact, the same one that you know from the source, transported to the first in its entirety. It was my first attempt at breaching the boundaries between worlds, something of a trial run before your eventual crossing. And though I do not know what era I tore it from, I do know that its arrival served to set the wheels of fate in motion. You've done as I requested and learned something of the world in which you found yourself. Now it's time I fulfill my half of the bargain and explain what has befallen your comrades. There's a conversation I'd rather have in the privacy of my quarters, however. I must go on ahead to the tower and organize a few things, but I shall see that the guard knows to admit you. Just like that, then Grahati is... I'm not familiar with that name. Is there something I should know? An extraordinary tale, but I'm afraid I found no such individual residing in the tower when it passed into my care. Maybe we can revisit that mystery another time. For now, I think it's best we can focus on the present. Alrighty. This is probably a good stopping point for this video, though. This gives me a chance to throw some water in my throat, perhaps, see if that helps. In any case, we'll be heading into the Crystal Tower once again in the next video, so see you then.